So one of the first things the guys want to do is they want to dig.
You know, I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that.
Which part are you not comfortable with?
The digging. I think that once we commence digging, it opens up a whole Pandora's box, and there's certain risks.
I mean, I'm not a scientist, but I know for a fact crap goes down when people start digging. That's the trigger. You know, if you're going to be a part of this, I have to unequivocally say no digging.
It's very important for us to protect this project. I mean, we don't want anybody to get hurt. We don't want equipment to get messed up.
When you dig, bad stuff happens. I heard about not digging. They said that when you dig, that is what seems to trigger whatever phenomenon, and that's not what I'm looking to do here. Do you want to go out and start digging? Who's going to do the digging then?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. Maybe we get volunteers that don't mind the risk.
Having been a person that's done a lot of digging, the more serious of digging I do, the more serious of consequences that follow. And I paid a pretty hefty price. When they told me not to dig, I just thought it was ridiculous. And so one day I decided to do some digging. And then 3 days after, it actually spread through my entire head. My scalp separated from my skull. The pain is so excruciating. I've never felt anything like it before in my life. The doctors had no idea what caused it. They didn't know how to fix it. Basically, they're telling me what happened to me was medically impossible. I know that I was warned, hey, don't do digging. I didn't have this preconceived idea in my mind that if I dug, something bad was going to happen, because I didn't believe it. Enough things have happened to myself, to the equipment. It is a possibility that they are correlated.
I get it. These guys are nervous. And they've dug, they've seen things happen.
Look, if we're going to dig, let's just do it in a way that we're keeping the possibility it may be dangerous.
What do you think about it?
I think we should dig because I want to learn more about what it means to dig. I don't see an anomaly happen as a warning. I see it as an invitation.
So we decided to dig at the energy zone. That's been ground zero for all the weird stuff that's been happening on this project. I've never seen that.
Controls it.
You guys talk about every time somebody digs out here, asking about where to and where not to dig. It seems to me like that's a big blinking sign saying if you want to create the phenomena to manifest itself, you go and dig somewhere.
A couple of years ago, I had been warned not to dig, I thought was absolutely ridiculous. So I paid zero. To this day, we still haven't come up with an explanation.
Is that why he and the other guys are afraid to dig?
Pretty interesting, right?
Yeah, very
It's interesting. I've yet to hear anything tell me that this is a reason not to dig.
I don't think we're ready to start digging.
There's no data that's been on the table that tells us digging is correlated to anything.
But a lot of the things bad happen more often when you dig.
We could dig. Would you feel comfortable with that?
I think that's the approach that I'm advocating.
Sure. I like that.
Yeah, I'm confident.
What concerns me is that even though we hadn't been digging, Thomas still got sick. If there really is something dangerous, we might be able to find out what it is before we start digging.
What I want to do is dig around the place because I believe there's a possibility that there's something causing different phenomena to happen.
Turn it on.
But there's been a lot of pushback on digging.
And we'll know, is it rock? Is it metal? Is it whatever? And so we gotta dig there, or at least take a sample.
I always get painted as the guy that's the anti-digging guy. And look, I'm interested to know what's there too. Knee-jerk reaction is we need to dig and find out what that thing is. It could be amazing or whatever. My first reaction is, wait a minute. We don't know what this is, and you pile that on top of the whole don't dig. The last thing I'm gonna do is just say, hey, yeah, let's head out there and start digging up and see what's down there. If I didn't like you, I would just say, fine, you know what, I'll be at the front gate, you guys go dig, just keep me the hell away from this.
When the team requested to proceed forward with digging, I was hesitant.
Some kind of misfortune often accompanies digging. We don't assume that there's a danger, but we also don't assume that there isn't.
The only way to get down there and look at it is to dig, so that's what we're going to do.
In my opinion, we're ready to dig.
I still have some reservations about digging.
My rational mind says that there's no problem digging. My experience makes me very superstitious. It wasn't until my injury that I really bought into the whole notion of digging.
That's why I want to know, how could we get a really deep sample? Like can we dig really, really, really deep?
How do you feel about doing that digging, or would you want to hire somebody? You know, you chose to suffer the ramifications of the digging, and this goes way back to what we talked about when we first began this exercise.
Without a doubt, my injury was tied to the digging. Well, it's not conclusive that it was the digging.
If you want the phenomena to manifest itself, you go and dig somewhere.
When you dig, bad stuff happens.
One day I was digging, my scalp separated from my skull.
If you're going to be a part of this, I have to say, no digging.
Well, I have a lot of digging to do, and so the rest of the team, they just might as well go home and go to the bar right now. Go have fun.